What's going on, everybody? It's swagged out, and you already know why I'm here. Today, we talk about a fragrance that I received from the house of Primera Perfumes. This is a brand new release from the house. I had not seen too much from this, and I had not smelled it until I received it. So this is a new one for me. I do have some of it here already. This is just so you see, like, every time you get a fragrance from Primera, they do come in these little travel bags, which some people like, some people throw away. I don't know. I like keeping these. Not the box. The box goes, the bag stays. And this is the fragrance right here. It is called Pirates. And if you see the little emblem, it's like an artistic expression of skull and crossbones. Pirates from Primera Perfumes. Very nice ambery hue to the juice here. However, it's not going to be an overly amber fragrance. It's actually very unique in terms of everything I have. I smelled this the day the package arrived. It came with 2 other fragrances, and I would say, like, it's best to just do each one individually, because I smelled English Blazer and I was like, that's my favorite. I'll spend time with these later. And finally I came back to it when I did smell Pirates alone away from English Blazer. It just totally different, beautiful experience, and it gives you different things to appreciate. So this right here, I'm gonna tell you right now, is going to be for the incense, spicy, semi-smoky lovers with a twist. And we'll talk about the twist now. So the notes in this fragrance right here are gonna be, at the top, you're gonna get pink pepper, you're gonna get bergamot, floral accords, and apple. And when I say apple, to my nose, I want to say literally green apple, but it just says apple. In the mid, you're going to get frankincense, iris, vanilla, and isoe super. And then in the base, you're going to get Guaiac wood, patchouli, musk, vetiver, oakmoss, and Armoise. And Armoise was a different note for me, not very familiar with it. I hadn't seen it a lot of places. Had to do a little homework on that, but figured that piece out, and I definitely understand where it plays its part in this fragrance. So if you don't know Armoise, it is a green note. It will add a little bit of sweetness, mostly earthy green, but do not get scared if you don't like that, because personally, I don't love green. I don't really love blue either, but if I had to pick, I'm probably going to go blue before green fragrance. So this is drying down, and I'll spray another one over here. And the great thing about this fragrance here, I can tell you right now, is if you find the mid that you love, and then it turns, as it dries down, it changes a lot, and you don't keep that part of the fragrance you love, you're gonna love this, because the mid in this fragrance becomes the story of the fragrance for the most part. Now, that beautiful opening, let's talk about this opening. That, to my nose, green apple, slightly tart, very sweet, with that bergamot. Now the bergamot's interesting because it adds sweetness as well, but it doesn't add that much tart to it. It's more like a candy type citrus mixed with that green apple and that pink pepper. And the pink pepper is gonna add just a little bit of spice to those sweet components that you have there, and almost like a rosy element that blends well with the florals. Now this pink pepper, I like it because it helps the fragrance transition into the mid, which is, you're gonna meet up with those frankincense. You're gonna get that spicy, semi-sweet, almost smoky, but not very smoky at all. It's not going to be an off-putting smoke. It's just very light, leaning or depending more on the spice and the fruity, sweet opening that you get as soon as you spray it on your skin. And yeah, you can definitely tell. So what's going to happen is you give it about 10 minutes max, and it starts getting into the mid. So the opening, that sweet, bright, fruity, floral, is going to tone down and let the spices and that slightly smoky vibe kind of pick up. But what happens here is that the vanilla in the mid pick up immediately also. So that vanilla is going to blend well with those sweeter aspects of the apple and the bergamot, and it blends into that frankincense and that pink pepper. So it becomes this slightly fruity, sweet-leaning, creamy vanillic, semi-smoky vibe. It's really nice. And the thing is that for those who think that spicy and smoky are going to be off-putting, they may be in a lot of fragrances where they are the center. But what happens is ISOE Super comes in as well, and it gives us this fresh kind of cedary, just manageable woody note that kind of tames a lot of those other notes that can be, you know, they keep people on their toes. Like, is it going to go super strong? I mean, it stays nice, it stays sweet, semi-earthy, and that earthiness you're gonna get is actually coming from the base. In this fragrance, I want to say that although it has its transitions, all of the notes kind of come in at the same time, but they just operate differently as the fragrance is transitioning, because that earthiness you're going to get from the beginning, and it's not coming from the top notes, is that base really bumping up. So what you're going to get in that base is that Guaiac wood, that Patchouli, that Musk, that Vetiver, that Oakmoss. What I really pick up from those notes is that that Oakmoss, it's a green, but it's nice. It doesn't go weird on my skin. And the Armoise, I get it. Like, it almost like takes little shots in the fragrance. Like, you get wafts of something lightly green that's kind of softened by sweeter notes. And that Patchouli. Now, the Patchouli here in the woods are what I love about the base. The Patchouli is going to be a nice, earthy, but sweet Patchouli that's balanced off by the woods. And what you find ultimately throughout the entire wear is that you have those sweet fruities with spiciness that moves into a spicy, creamy, still being balanced by a lot of those fruity notes, and that ISOE Super, which freshen it up a little bit, which takes you right down to the base, and you get this Patchouli that kind of gives it this nice, not gourmand, but a sweetness that's coupled together by that earthiness that gives this a really solid overall fragrance. And then while you're getting that, you're still getting little shots of Oakmoss and Armoise that gives it like little, the green comes off here like fresh greens. It's not like a vegetal or foliage kind of green. It's almost like it's fresh, but it's green. It's beautiful. The Vetiver also does shine here, but I'm telling you, the Oakmoss was really going to pick up here the most. And of course, you have that Musk, which also adds to a little bit more freshness. So if those greens are too heavy for you, you have a lot of stuff offsetting them, just balancing every single portion of this fragrance just right. And what you have at the end as it dries down is a woody, spicy, sweet fragrance. That's that vanilla, really. It's like the vanilla and that patchouli blending really nice with those with that Guaiac wood and that frankincense. And you get a little remnants of those fruits from the opening, but it's no longer a fruity fragrance as it was at that initial opening. So what you get at that mid all the way to the dry down is most of the fragrance on the wear. So if you're off put by fruity fragrances, trust me, it's just the opening. It's just something while it starts blending with your own body and your skin, and it transitions into something amazing. I'm telling you right now, when I first smelled it, again, I was so taken by the English blazer that I was like, I'll get to this when I get to this. And when I finally did come back to it, I was like, what was I thinking? This is a complex, beautiful fragrance. It has the sweet stuff. It has the earthy stuff, the incensey, the smoky. It does a lot of things, and it does it all well. This is definitely an awesome autumn, fall, whatever you call it, where you are, fragrance, and it's still going to rock hard in the winter. This is a great fragrance. This is from Primera Perfumes, and of course it is Pirates. Thank you very much for your time, and if you're still watching, which I hope you are, please like this content. If you're not currently subscribed, go ahead, subscribe. And if you have any particular questions about this house, how to purchase, how to get in contact with them, all these questions that may arise because they're not that readily accessible through mainstream media for the most part, you kind of got to define them. Feel free, add comments, ask questions, and I will be happy to reply. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, this is Fragged Out, Swagged Out, and I'm out.